think we can start now, and I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our entire GT Goenka community. Our thousands of students across India, our parents, our students, our teachers, our staff, and of course, our wonderful friends and family who have joined us today. And welcome, Kitty, once again. It's a pleasure and
Thank
an
you.
honor to have you. And Kitty is one of the most inspiring people that I have come across. Um, she comes incidentally from a family of entrepreneurs and restaurateurs. And after a debilitating accident and injury a few years ago, where she had several fractures in her spinal cord, she was told by many doctors she'll never walk again. But thanks to her never say die attitude and Pilates, Kitty is now an instructor to many cricketers in India, Bollywood celebrities, elite athletes. So, Kitty, that's really inspiring and very motivating. And I'm sure our students will learn a lot from you today. And Kitty is a superbly positive person, fit and happy, and she spreads joy everywhere we go. And that's, I think, a result of um, great exercise. And so we're hoping you'll spread a lot of that positivity to our community today. Kitty has also won several awards, including the prestigious Bharat Nirvan Award. And so I think in today's day and time, with the lockdown happening, a lot of us have no access to gyms and barely any equipment at home. A lot of us are suffering from little motivation and aches and pains related to anxiety, aches and pains related to bad posture, sitting in front of the TV all day long, watching Netflix,
Yes,
or having
yes.
meetings on Zoom. So I think all of us need a little reminder and a little instruction in fitness today. So that's where Kitty comes in to help us out with top tips on how to stay fit at home. And do stay tuned in till the very end of our seminar, because Kitty is going to give us a fabulous 15-minute workout to work out every part of your body, lower body, abs, upper body, with exercises that actually work that you can do at home without any equipment. So let's start right away. Kitty, I would love to start if by hearing your personal journey. How did you get where you are, and what struggles did you have to face?
Okay, I also want to say my thank yous to the GD Goenka community and to Nupur, thank you, Nipun, and to Radhika, who's my favorite girl. I mean, thank you so much for giving me the platform where I can try and help and contribute whatever little knowledge that I have. And I do hope I can inspire everyone and you walk out fitter after the seminar and put more focus into your health. So I want to start and tell you here that it's the mind. We don't move towards fitness because somewhere we lack the motivation, somewhere we're not ready, or our mind is never ready. If the body is, the mind isn't. If the mind is, the body isn't. I had a similar situation about 20 years ago. I met with a car accident, just like Nupur said, and I had a lot of spinal fractures. The doctor said I might not be able to walk again. But um, I have a very strong will. And the doctor, one orthopedic, walked into my hospital room and said that if you lie down for 3 months flat, you might heal because bones have a tendency to join. That's how fractures heal. 3 months for 3 months. It's an attitude that we have and how we take life and every situation. So I took it as 3 months. And I lied down for 3 months. And after 4 months, I could put my foot down and take baby steps. And I started walking. But I have to tell you here that nothing heals you than your own self love. It's your own willpower, which is the strongest medicine you'll ever have. So I believed in myself and I was so determined and stubborn. Kahenge to ziddi, but I was sure shot, ready to go and prove that doctor wrong, who said that you might not be able to walk again. So with a lot of physiotherapy, I started walking. And there was a foreigner lady who I met because she saw me with a big brace and a belt, always stooping down when I went to school with my little one. And she told me, she must have been around 60 years old, and she told me to do Pilates. And 20 years ago, there was no Pilates in India. I sat and Googled, but nothing came up. And I always believe that whatever you're seeking for is seeking you back. After a year, I found a Pilates trainer and I trained with her for about a year or maybe a little over. and my back became like steel. I was so strong that I had ever been. Though I was an athlete in my school and college, I was the sports president of my college, and fitness was a way of life for me. But this was the strongest that I ever felt with Pilates. And that's why it became a dream to become a Pilates trainer some point in my life. I mean, I was just 27 that time. But at some point when life settles, my kids have grown up, I decided that I will become a Pilates trainer because it became a deep rooted desire to help and heal people and show them that there are alternative ways of getting fit or alternative ways to heal your injuries than just going in for surgeries or just losing hope and living in distress. And there are so many people who just learn to live with pain. And I'm like, no, that's not the way of life. So that's where I decided. And at the age of 40, when I know most people decide to slow down or pack up and retire, I became a Zumba and a Pilates trainer pursuing my dreams. And like I said, it's all in the mind. Your mind is actually the seed and your body is the fruit. So, how you nourish that mind is how the body or the fruit will look and feel. It has to come from here because fitness is not quick fix. It's not a seasonal thing and it's not a lockdown thing, friends. It's not just going to go after we're all out and we'll start leading normal lives. We all have to realize today. I mean, when else will we realize that in the current epidemic, fitness, health, and immunity are the only winners? I mean, it's the only gateway to stay alive. Every option is closed now. So we need to get in here. We need to have a stronger mind because that's where we are ready to take in other challenges of life also. It's a better mind is equal to a fitter body, and a fitter body is equal to a better mind. It's always a combination. So that's been my journey. I mean, it's been beautiful. And this is where I am learning, pushing, and moving by example, showing it out. Because I feel today, if we are not showing it to our children, they're not going to learn it. I mean, take a minute to consider what legacy are we leaving behind for our children. I mean, it's all destruction. Look at their health right now. We're all glued to the net. We're all glued to those Xboxes, the TV. There is no space, I know, to go out and play too much. We don't have too many parks, but we can still show them the lifestyle changes, be fitter, eat healthier. I mean, studies today show that children between 5 and 18 need to exercise for 60 minutes a day. I mean, whether schools bring it in a curriculum or parents enroll the kids in an activity, but we need to start. But here, how many children actually love going for that PT class? We're always faking a stomach ache or giddiness. Girls are always using periods as an excuse to skip that workout or a class. So we need to change the mindset. And it has to come from the role models that children see. Because it's very unlikely that a child who hasn't seen fitness or who's not fit in his growing up years will be a fit adult when he really reaches up there. I mean, an unfit child is likely to be an unfit adult. So we have to be the role models. And like you said, Nupur, that I am the role model for my kids. Discipline starts when they are very young. I mean, I remember they were not allowed to watch TV or anything except on a Friday and Saturday. They were not allowed to eat any junk except a Friday and a Saturday. And that's why they make conscious choices now. They don't eat processed foods, they don't eat canned stuff, they're not into colas and pastas and pizzas. So we as parents have to show that because again, the results will come out in the children if the parents try and show that fitter parents will have fitter children because that's what they copy and ape. Today, we do have a space crunch. We do not have time, probably. We're too busy. We have very busy lifestyles. We're all working in the corporate world or entrepreneurs. And it's beautiful because most of the ladies are really working out of home today. But then, such an excuse that I don't have time to work out, I don't understand. It's just demeaning and unloving yourself and your body. You don't need fancy gyms. You do not need an expensive trainer to keep you fit and physically active. It takes very little for you to actually put in the day to even spend 10 minutes or 20 minutes and work out. I mean, I'm going to show you sometime later that whole workout that you can just do in 15 minutes. You don't need 1 hour, which is a myth that people have, that you need to work out for 1 hour. Only then you stay fit, or that's why you look so nice and toned up. Consistency is the key. So you have to find a workout that goes with your body. And that's how it is.
Okay, great, Kitty. So a lot of people want to know what workouts to do at home. People are confused. Should we do a fat loss workout? Should we do a muscle building workout? Should we be doing more cardio? Should we be lifting weights? So right now during lockdown, what kind of a workout and how many days a week do you recommend? What should be the ratio be?
I work out for 7 days a week because I believe that if you eat and sleep for 7 days and look after yourself for 7 days, then why can't we work out for 7 days? But I know it's sometimes not the comfort zone for everybody, especially if you're not used to working out or if you're starting new. I would say that at least please bring in 5 days of a workout, because the moment you cut the days and you decide that, okay, I'm going to work out for 3 days, which 3 days? Okay, let's do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, no. I think let's do Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Oh, I missed yesterday. It was Tuesday. Okay, I'm going to double it up on Thursday and do 2 hours instead of 1 hour. So the more gaps we have, the more sluggish mode our mind goes into, giving excuses, and we're not regular. I would say 5 to 6 days to start. And it's a great idea to do a combination of cardio and strength training. So it also depends on what your goals are. If you have to burn, if you want to burn fat and you're really trying weight loss, it's a good idea to bring in more cardio. So ideally bring in 3 days of cardio and 3 days of strength training. Strength training is very important, friends, because it actually helps us build muscle. It gives density to the bones. So we have stronger bones and muscles, which actually help us fight things like osteoporosis and joint pains. That's what makes us stronger. Plus, I want to tell you here that muscle is the only organ in the body that actually does not deteriorate with age. It makes us look younger. It makes us feel younger. So when you build muscle, it's through strength training or resistance training. You will get a definition to your body and all those cuts that we all want. Plus, weight training is amazing for inch loss, whereas cardio is great for weight loss. And cardio, right now, we're all in a lockdown situation. You can do it at home. You can do jumping jacks. You can do a jogging and a brisk walk combination. You can do dance. You can do burpees, mountain climbers, jumping jacks. All these are different ways of doing a cardio at home on that one spot. You don't need too much room for that. Strength training, yes, we might not have too many equipments around or accessories to use stuff during strength training. Strength training mainly is resistance training, which could be done by using weights, or you can do a TheraBand, or even a kettlebell, a rope workout, or the TRX suspension training that we do, Pilates with machines, your own body weight workout, which is yoga, Pilates, or swimming. So these are all resistance trainings. Right now, you can't do so many of them because you can't step out. But instead of weights, you can use water bottles. You can use a heavy book. Even I teach a lot of slider workouts and a glider workout. It's very, very strengthening for the core. You can use a small face towel to do that workout. I mean, if you go and log into my Instagram, I just did a towel workout 2 days ago for another company and another organization. And all these workouts I keep posting on my Instagram, which is Kitty Kalra. So you get to know alternative ways, even if you don't have equipment at home. But again, coming back to it, bring a combination of strength and cardio.
Okay, great, Kitty. So could you show us a few back and neck strengthening exercises? Because I've heard a lot of people complain these days that they have aches and pains in their back. They did some exercise wrong on their own, or they were lying down and watching too much television or reading in bed for too long.
Yes.
Also, a lot of students are spending a lot more time on their gadgets. playing games, not sitting correctly. I suffer from bad posture myself sometimes. So if you can show us some exercises first for posture correction and also for strengthening the neck and particularly the back.
Yes, I'm going to show you some posture correction because that's something where a trainer comes into play. And if you don't have a trainer or if you're not used to working out with someone, I want you to focus on the alignments. I'm going to teach you the basic posture corrections that we go wrong with while working out. And we actually land up harming the body more than gaining something out of it. I'll start with a basic squat first. When you're in a squat, your feet have to be outside your hips and the toes are slightly diagonally turned out. You can keep your hands here or here. I'm going to give a demo from here. When you squat, the whole weight has to be on your heels or the glutes. So do not squat from the front or keep your weight on the knees or bend forward. Keep all the weight at the back and you pretend you're sitting on a chair. So you keep your back straight and that's how you go into a squat here. Second one is a lunge that a lot of people do for lower body conditioning. Here, I want to show you that when you go into a lunge here, keep the knee behind the toe of your foot. When you point forward, this is how some people lunge. You're keeping too much stress on your knee and slowly you will start injuring that knee and you'll have wear and tear there. Third one that I want to teach you here is the plank. It's my favorite form of fitness and workout, and the exercises with a lot of plank variations because it works the full body. A plank is a full body workout. Now, a lot of people do planks, but I want to show you the posture here. If you can see me, the neck, the upper back, the lower spine, and the glutes all have to be in one line, and your gaze has to be somewhere to the front of the mat. Don't drop your neck like this. And then don't drop your pelvis down. This is not a right posture. Similarly, do not lift up your hips. These are not the right postures and they will not even give you the right result. So if your alignments are not right, the results are not going to be as good or as fast. So this is how a plank is. There are a lot of people who can't go onto a arm plank or a hands plank. You can go down onto your elbows, but stay in one line. From here, I'm going to show you the crunches, which is the most popular way people use to cut down belly fat and tone that up. When we're doing a crunch here, I've seen a lot of people will do. Their neck is always hanging because they are looking up to the ceiling. It really creates a lot of pressure here. When you do a crunch or anything where you're lifting up the upper body and your neck, your gaze should go to the knees here. So if I want to do a crunch in the right posture, it has to be look at your knees. Okay, so these are the main I think, yeah, these are the main ones that I can think of where I've seen a lot of people going wrong. Apart from that, when you're standing or sitting in the car or every time, push your shoulders back, suck your abs in, and your ears and shoulders should be in one line. So you pull out the chest and pull in the abs, and this is how you need to be all through. So that's the posture correction. I'm going to show you some back strengthening exercises. I know because a lot of people, I think 1 out of 3 people have a back issue. So if you do these 5 or 6 exercises every day, twice a day, you will get a stronger back and it'll start helping you build more core and strength. I also want to tell you here that back strengthening also has to come with stronger glutes. So work out on your glutes also. Work that muscle because that's the one that is holding up your upper body. So you need to have stronger glutes as well for your back to be strong. 5 or 6 exercises with me. If you want to do it, if you're sitting in the room and ready to do some workout, then please do it with me. I'll just show you maybe 3 moves. We're in all fours. The arms are right under your shoulder and the knees are directly over your hip joint. Gaze is down to the floor in the front. So I'm not dropping down my neck. We're going to do the usual cat and camel here. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, slightly pull in the abs towards your spine and look down at your knees. Inhale, release and look ahead to the front of the mat. Do not lift your neck here. Again, that's a mistake a lot of us do. We stretch the neck way beyond its comfort zone. Keep the neck in line with your spine, so you will look somewhere down to the floor. 2 more, let's do this. Exhale, pull the abs in. Don't go into a hyper flexion or a hyper extension like this. Simple movement, keep it slow, slightly pull in and look ahead. 1 more, exhale and scoop the abs in and inhale, release to look ahead to the floor. From here, the second exercise that I'll show you for the back pain is open your feet outside your hips slightly and keep the toes pointed. You will lift up opposite hand and feet. Nose is pointing to the floor all through, so don't drop your nose or touch the chin here. Simply inhale here. Exhale to lift up the opposite hand and leg. Inhale, drop. Exhale. Do about 8 of these, or depending if you have pain or not. And come back here. The child's pose or the shell stretch is a fabulous stretch for the back. And you come back here. The other one is the bridge, or we call it the hip rolls in Pilates, where your feet are hip distance apart and your hands are right next to your hips. Inhale it here. As you exhale, slowly vertebrae by vertebrae lift up and make a diagonal line from the knee to the chest. Stay there for a count of 3 and slowly inhale, vertebrae by vertebrae drop down. Let's do 2 more. Exhale, squeeze the abs in and lift up the glutes. Inhale, slowly paste yourself back on the mat. 1 more. Exhale. And inhale it here. Another very good stretch is when you stretch your toes and your hands really far away, pretending that someone is pulling you from your toes and hands. And then slowly bring one knee in towards your chest and the toe is pointed. You can lift up or stay down, which is your choice. And bring the other one in. Point the toe. And then bring both in. Take it slow, take time to stretch and stay there. No rushing it up. And drop here. The last one that I will show you is the bird dog. Opposite hand and leg again, lifting up. Gaze to the floor in the front and inhale, drop down. Exhale. And inhale. If you have a back pain, do not lift it too high. See what's your comfort level. If you have balance challenges, then you can simply keep your hands here and go out from the leg and stretch. So these are a few back strengthening ones. I'll show you some shoulder, neck, and the back here, because we're always slouching, we're on the phone. So this becomes our natural posture, and the neck and the shoulder think that this is how it has to be. We need to keep reminding ourselves to push back, especially for teachers or people who are working on desk jobs and offices. You need to get up every 30 minutes and walk around. Take that advice, because it's very important for movement. Also, you don't get water retention in your body. And this is not just for ladies here. I'm talking for every gender, every age group here. It's for all of us. We need to walk every half an hour. Don't just sit and slouch and stay there. Neck work. Hold one part of the ear and drop it to the other ear. And return back. Hold one ear and drop it down. Do these around 4 times here and 4 times there. Then the other one that you can do for the neck is hold one ear and try and push, force towards that ear, but do not let my hand move my head. So you will just stay here and force push it away. Hold it, do it for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and come back. Same thing here. Put your hand around and try and push the neck and your head towards the hand. And use the force of the hand. It's the opposite, equal and opposite reaction. Come back. Other than that, for the back, there is a breaststroke exercise that you can do. Open the arms, pretend you're swimming here. Push the shoulders back. I'll show it to you how it feels from the side. Keep yourself nice and tall. So it works on the scapula. Also, keep your arms out, palms facing inwards towards each other, and retract the scapula or the shoulder blades and inhale forward. Do this about 8 or 10 times. Exhale back. So no jerks. Don't go jerking and don't push it way too behind so that there is winging of your shoulder blades. Just simple shrugging and forward. Retract and protract. Then apart from this, the neck is, the rotation of the neck is a very good exercise, but you have to make sure that you do it very slowly, pressing every nerve. And go anti-clockwise, very slow, press every nerve. And come back here. My favorite one here for the upper body is the standing cat and camel. This is the last one that I'll show you, opening the arms out. Inhale here. As you exhale, scoop the abs in, slightly pushing out from the spine. And inhale and open it again. Let's do 2 more. Exhale to squeeze and pull the abs in. Inhale and open it out. One last one. Exhale. And inhale. Of course, I can keep showing you a lot more. I'll just do maybe 2 more, since you stand against a wall with your hands to the side on the wall and move your hands up. This is very good for the shoulder. And slide the arms down. And exhale up. Again, do 7 or 8 of these. Apart from this, you can keep your hand here and just open it out in line with your elbow. Don't open it out too much and bring it in. Simply moving the muscle here and return. External rotation and internal rotation. So these are the exercises that you can do for your back and neck, even if you pick up 3 after a class or after a little break in your office or at home. Just do 3. You don't have to do a whole series every time. So that's it, Nupur. Let me know what else, if you have any more questions.
Um, so everyone's really scared of the word exercise sometimes. You know, you hear the word exercise and like, oh my God, it seems like a chore. I'll have to like wear my exercise gear and then put on some music and find equipment and find a routine. So it's kind of like a scary word for some people. So how can we during lockdown exercise without actually exercising? So what would be your top?
Okay. Exercise doesn't really mean exercising. You can bring in just simple functional movements in your day-to-day life. I mean, if I drop something and I bend my knees and I squat down to pick it up, I'm squatting, right? I'm doing a squat without like a squat of the exercise, without stressing my brain that, oh my God, I have to exercise. Drop and lift, or drop and lift. If you can bend your knees or not, so it depends. Simple picking it up here. You might pretend that you're filling up and putting something in your cupboard. Pick it up here, put it out there, like a basketball move here. So you're working your arms, you're working every part of the body, at least you're mobile, right? Working on the flexibility without even knowing. Apart from that, you can do basic walking here. I know we cannot walk out, we can't go out, we don't have space probably, and of course we're not allowed. I would say clock in as many steps as you can. And the best way to do that these days is, because we're on the phone and we're talking, pick up the phone and walk while you're talking. Believe me, if you talk for 15 minutes, you will clock more than 2,000 steps. So ideally, 8 to 10,000 steps is what we all need to clock in. If you wear a Fitbit or any watch, which is an iPhone, iWatch, or this is a Samsung, any kind of a tracker where it monitors your steps, wear that. Of course, even the phones have it. You can download an app, but even the phone has a heart monitor. If you're keeping your phone all the time in your hands, you will walk around and you will see that it actually starts recording the steps that you have. So that's another way. Also try and bring in more stair work, going up, down the stairs. Try not to use the lift, use more stairs. I mean, even if I go to a big building where it's probably I have to go up 10 floors, I will go up 2 floors running or whatever, and then I take the lift. So you don't have to kill yourself, but you can sensibly bring in the right movements. You know, if you want to put your heart and mind to it, if you want to do workouts, if you want to be physically active, you can find ways to do that. Also dance. You don't need space for that. You don't need anything, no equipment, nothing for that. To dance, and it's so beautiful in a lockdown. You can all do a Zoom dance. You can inspire a family or a cousin or a relative that, okay, let's do it. And there are these so many cute challenges. I know right now there is that 2C challenge with Drake that everyone's doing. So it's fun if you rope in people, have a partner workout, you know, engage your little kids. You can bring in your little tiny little kids as well to start playing and make it like an activity. So it depends on what you want to do. There are ways to do it. You know, don't call your driver, the car to the gate, walk to the gate. So these are little things that you can bring in your lifestyle. I'm going to keep that chair away. I don't know when I need to show you again something.
All sounds great, Kitty. One of the questions that everyone always asks, and a lot of people have been writing, is how do you stay motivated during this time? You know, we all have good days where we're like,
yes,
you know, we cook and we clean our house and we'll do a workout and we'll read and we'll do something productive and we'll work. And then Mr. Modi comes on the television and says the lockdown is extended for another 20 days. And then we we're like, oh shit, when is this going to end? Like, what am I going to do now? So what about the days when you don't feel like doing anything? Like, how do you talk to yourself? What is your self-talk like to motivate yourself on the hard days?
You know, I don't want to go down the general health lane where everybody knows the benefits of exercise, where it's good for your heart, It cuts the osteoporosis, it reduces diabetes, obesity, and it reduces stress, anxiety, depression. I just want to say that when we exercise, it really builds in so much confidence and self-esteem. I mean, it's not just about looking good, but you feel good because you release endorphins, which are happy hormones. And those are the ones that keep you charged throughout the day. And they are the ones that let you take up bigger challenges in life. So you have to know that it's not just about a body and it's not just about a workout. But I will say here that it's not easy for everybody always. So one, try and bring in a fun workout that you enjoy. Do not follow fad workouts. It might not work for you. Like a high intensity workout really is good to burn calories. It looks wow, but it's a little harsh on the joints. So do not do it if it's not for you. Find a workout that's made for you and you will continue with. Second point is bring in variety. It sometimes gets very monotonous to follow one routine for 5 days. I mean, so try and bring another kind of workout, maybe a dance form, maybe a yoga if you're doing functional always, or if you're lifting weights. So bring in another variety of workouts because it won't make it monotonous. Secondly, it will actually try and prevent injuries because you don't keep wearing and tearing one muscle group all the time. And thirdly, it won't let you hit a plateau because the body keeps challenging you and the muscles are challenged every time you do something new. So that's about variety. I would say consistency is the key. Like I said, do not do 3 days. Do a 5 to 6 or 7 day workout, even if you can just do 10 minutes some days. It does not have to be an hour. It's just a myth. Some days do 20 minutes. And if you can clock in 40 minutes, do a combination, maybe 20 some days, 40 or 1 hour some days, but be consistent. And the last one that I will tell you is keep pushing your intensity. I do not mean do high intensity workouts. What I mean is hold a plank. If today you can hold it for 10 seconds, try and push it to 15 seconds tomorrow, and then to 30, and then to a minute. If you can do 5 push-ups today, move it to 8 tomorrow and 10 later. So try and push yourself and challenge your own body because the body always listens. It's only the mind which is scared. So these are little things. Bring in a partner to work out. Right now, if you're home, inspire your partner or anyone who would do it at home or your child. Kids are the best way to actually work out with. I mean, they love pushing themselves. They love, especially if they're chotu bachchas. So tell them to do that.
So Kitty, a lot of people are asking if you do online classes. So I just want to say, I just want to tell everyone that yes, Kitty does online classes and you can get in touch with her. And she has an Instagram account where she has a lot of workouts, which you can follow as well. So, and
Yes.
we will be posting all her information so you can get directly in touch with her. So talking of kids, Kitty, a lot of the parents out there have little kids between the ages of 3 and 6 and 7. Very difficult to keep them active during this time. Very difficult to make them exercise. So do you have any tips on how, an older kid, you can tell them, logically that this is good for you. And if you do it, I'll do this for you. But you can't really use logic with a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old sometimes. So how do you motivate them and what do you make them do to exercise?
So, of course, we're not going to use the word exercise for the kids. We make it like a little play game or a fun thing for little kids. You can actually tell them, I'll show it to you here. I mean, I'm starting Pilates with kids sometime soon. But right now, to just get them going and to move, you can just tell them, okay, let's play a little game. Let's go side to side. Okay, you go side and I go this side and you run this side and I go this side and you go this side. You can place an object and tell your kid to, in how many seconds can you go and get that for me? Come on, let's do it quickly. Let's go pick it up and bring it back quickly. We used to have something called telematch in our school days, which was super fun. And it was something like this. Third one that you can do is a lot of crawling work, which also works on adults. So you keep your knees off and you tell the kids to crawl and pick up an object and run and bring it back. You can do a little partner workout with the child. You can tell him, okay, let's do a plank, let's do clapping here. So you could come into a plank with your knees down. If you don't really want to come into a plank, have your child face you and go clapping here and clapping. So you can do these little things or place little obstacles around Tell them to go zigzag, zigzag. Everything is fun. The kids like to move, really. It's not about that they won't do it. They like to move it, but they find easier options just because they have the TV and they have the gadgets right now. But if you participate with them, they will do it, believe me.
Fantastic, Kitty. Thank you for that. So we have 15 minutes left, and Kitty has promised us a workout which we can do every day at home for all different body parts within 15 minutes, and we will see results. So, Kitty, I'm going to take you up on that and try a 15-minute workout and see what results I get. So, she has promised us she'll give us exercises which are targeted for your lower body, your abs, and your upper body, and exercises that actually work and that you can complete in a very short period of time. So, Kitty, let's get started on the workout.
Okay, so I want to tell everybody here that, of course, because we're running short of time, I might not be able to do too many reps. I'll show you just maybe 4 or 5 reps of these, and you can incorporate more or less depending on your time and stamina. I will show you the workout, and I'll show you some modifications of the exercise as well. So you will decide whichever one works for you, depending on your health condition, and you can do that. So let's start with a few for the lower body, which are glutes and all your thighs, calves, and everything. So the best one is, I don't need to really tell you a warm up, but I'll still do a little bit. If you're doing it with me, then let's go. First, jogging out here. Jog for a count of 100. If you can't do 100, at least 50. And then you will do some jumping jacks. 30 of these. So this is just a warm up that I'm telling you that you can do every day. Oops, my AirPods fell. Okay. I hope this one stays. So you will do a jumping jack here. Apart from that, do some rotations to open up the body and the torso. And then you will go out and out, opening up the arms, shoulders, and some butt kicks here. So this is all a part of the warm up. Knees up, crunching from the abs. All right. So you can add more counts, you can reduce more counts, whatever you want to. Let's start with the exercise. Maybe we can do 5-5, starting with the lower body. I'm going to show you squats, which is going to go 3 down and 1 up. So exhale going down and inhale up. Remember the posture that I told you. Feet are outside your hips, toes pointing out. Let's go. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale up. 2 more. 1 more. The modification here is simply just go into a small squat and lift up. Half a squat and up. Make sure that all the weight is on the heels like I taught you. Second exercise that we can do is jacks and move your arms. Well, I hope the AirPods stay here. You will do cross jacks for me and move your hands up. 10. Keep breathing out, crossing those legs. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so my heart rate is already up. So that's where it's a part of a cardio, plus you're doing the full body, which is coming into play. The third one that I want to show you is a squat with some oblique work happening here. I go too low. Okay, sorry, I forgot to tell you the modification for the jumping jacks. You will not jump if you can't jump. You will simply go cross, cross, out, out. Okay, so don't jump in. The third one that we're doing is a squat twists. You will go as low as possible. Squat, twist. All right. Modification Just go down here. Keep the squat small. Center, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, we'll do 5 to show the main one. Inhale here, feet are outside. Exhale. Last one. And come back. Okay, I like that I run out of breath. It pushes me to go further. Okay, a little more for the inner thigh and calves and the obliques here. Looks very easy. So you will do about 20 counts of each or 15 minimum. You will drop down as low and give me oblique drops. Moving from the side, don't bend forward. And the modification is go low, drop, and drop. If you can't do this one as well, you will simply drop and pick up your leg, drop the elbow towards your knee. Modification here. Okay, the last one that I want to show you is the lunges. It's a combination of 8 and 8. I want you to stay here and give me 8 on the back leg, pulse it out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, go low. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Of course, the modification is just go into back lunge, or forward lunge if you can, if you don't have knee issues. If you have knee pain, do back lunges, not front lunges. So these are what you can do all for the lower body here. I'll show you some ab work here because that's where a lot of people have a concern, especially women. My favorite crunch is the zigzag crunch because it includes the abs, the core, and the whole oblique area. So you will keep your arms behind your ears. I'll show you 3 of them. Inhale here, exhale, lift up, zigzag. 4, 3, 2, 1. Zigzag. Modification, stay up and go out. Okay, 15 of these. The second one that I want to show you is a crunch here. Arms are behind your head. Inhale. As you exhale, lift up and keep your knees to tabletop. Drop one leg, bring it back. Drop the other leg, bring it back, and return down. Watch me here again. Exhale. I'll do 2 more and then show a modification. And go back. Modification, keep your knees down and arms can be at the back. And you simply crunch in here. Look at your knees. Like I said, do not look up. If you can't take your hands back because of some shoulder or neck issue, you will keep the arms here and go. Okay, a few more. I'll show you an amazing booty work, or for those glutes here. You will balance on your hand. Keep that hand turned outwards. The wrist is pointing diagonally. And balance it here. Flex the toe. So this is flex when your toe is pointing towards your knee. And this is pointing out when your toe is away from your knee. So keep it flexed and off the mat. Inhale. Take it forward. Exhale, point it back. Sorry, exhale forward, inhale back. Flex, point. Flex, point. If you are getting tired, you can drop here. Otherwise, exhale, inhale. I'll show you 3. And modification is simply staying down on that butt and the elbow. So you lift up here and point back, flex forward, point back. All right, second part in this one. There are 3 in this series. Leg raises. So you will point up, flex down. Inhale, exhale. It's all inner thigh work. All right, the third one is keep it pointed and pulse up to the ceiling. 10 times and come back. Do it on the other side. My other favorite are the plank variations, but I'll show you an amazing one, which is a fabulous plank variation. I'm going to push this a little back. I don't know if you guys can see me. Okay, yes, I think you can. So my favorite plank variation, which includes all here, stay in a plank, inhale, come in a side plank, and drop the arm down as if you are putting a needle in a thread, and lift up, come in a plank again. Other side, side plank, needle, oblique work, side plank, return to the plank. Go slow, alignment, neck, back, hip, all in one line. One more, and drop, and drop. Modification, you can simply be in a plank here, drop down your knees, and you can go arm out and drop. If you can manage, then drop here and bring back. 2 in this, lift up and thread it out here, okay? I want to show you here that a lot of people, when they do knee down plank, they move back and do it, and they think they're doing a plank. Keep your hips away from your knees, and your back has to be in a diagonal here. This is the right posture if you do a knee down plank, okay? So these are my favorite ones for the abs, and they work out the whole body and strengthen the core as well. I'll show you a few on the arms, 5 only. Breaststroke arms are my favorite, which I also showed you for back and shoulder strengthening. Do 30 of these. Keep your arms nice and tight. And then the second one is Namaste arms. You will join your elbows and point your fingers up and go 30 counts. Keep going up, don't open the elbows. And don't drop the height. Keep it here right in front of your chest. The third one I call is Balle Balle arms. It's like a dagger hitting into your sides and opening out. In, out. Turn the wrists. Every time, it's like Balle Balle. Don't take it too high. And keep moving it out. So it works all the muscles around. Another one for some flab here are the reverse flies. Pretend you got weights, or even if you don't have weights, keep your knees soft, slightly abs crunched in. Okay, again, 30 of these. You can do less, you can do more. That's your call. Push door arms. Pretend you're pushing the door. It works well for the back and any flab here. $30 of these again. And circles. Keep it nice and tight and circle them around. So these are little things that you can do in the car. You don't have to have a mindset of getting your equipment or working out and exercising. Anything when you're in the car, even in flights. I do a lot of work when I do a lot of movement when I'm on my long flights. Lift up the leg, drop it here, side out and in, everything. So you don't get water retention, you don't get swelling when you're on a long flight.
Great, thank
Okay,
you.
Nupur.
So Kitty gave us 15 amazing exercises, 5 for legs, 5 for abs, and 5 for arms. You can watch it again. We'll be uploading the video on YouTube, and we will write these exercises for you so you can do them at home.
Yeah.
We are getting a lot of questions from everyone who's viewing. A lot of people complimented your shoes. Fabulous shoes.
Thank you. These are the Puma ones, so I hope the company is hearing and they send some more.
Okay. A lot of people are asking how much water to drink during your workout and what to eat before and after a workout.
I want to give a main tip here, which is linked to a myth that people have, which a lot of people think that the more they sweat, the more they are burning fat. Believe me, sweat and fat have no connection or correlation. Sweat only means that you're evaporating a lot of water from your body. So that means you need to stay hydrated a lot during a workout. You have to keep sipping your water or whatever drink you have. I will say no to energy drinks. They have too much sugar. All right, so get a healthy drink and keep sipping that, because if your muscles dry, they become like a dry bark of a tree, it can break. But if your bark of a tree is wet, then it's difficult to break it, right? So your muscles are exactly the same. Keep it hydrated and it'll stay safe and injury proof. So about 10 glasses of water, minimum, and 8 glasses of water all day. But during a workout, keep sipping water and work out in an air conditioned environment. Don't think that sweating out means that you're burning calories.
And what foods do you recommend to eat before and after?
I would say you need to have something before a workout starts so that you have energy to sustain the workout. Ideally, a lot of people have coffee or tea, which is fine and it works well. If you don't have time, have a little fruit, which is fab. Do a peanut butter toast, have a banana. If you can do avocados, just do that. You have time to have just a yogurt with granola, do that, or a boiled egg. So you need something before you start a workout, small or big, whatever, but you need fuel for the body to get into the workout mode. Post a workout, it's very important. Again, I'll give you a tip here. You need to work out within 45 minutes after a workout. Otherwise, whatever muscle you've built will die. So 45 minutes is the window that you have to, again, feed your body something healthy. Ideally, it should be a good combination of lean protein, good carbs, and healthy fats. So again, the peanut butter toast. If you're having dinner or a lunch after your workout, then do the grilled chicken, the fish, the paneer, or some tofu, which I don't recommend too much. Not too much soya is good for us. And then have a smoothie after a workout. You can have some vegetables with hummus. So all those are things, but feed yourself something which is healthy.
Somebody wants to know, what is your opinion of working out on a trampoline? Do you recommend it? And what can one do on a trampoline?
You know, trampoline is a fabulous cardio. You've got to strengthen your knees side by side. I did it for 4 years. It was a fabulous rebounder workout. I remember we used to call it the rebounder. The Reebok used to have it 15 or 20 years ago. But it's a fabulous cardio. You can do jumping jacks on it. You can do one leg at a time, a single leg jack. You can do one leg lunges. It's a fabulous way of picking up cardio, but keep strengthening your knees, because it could be, though it's got springs, so it doesn't harm the knees, but it's nice to balance it out. And like I said, it's good to balance a cardio with strength so you don't injure one part of the body or any muscle.
Somebody wants to know, क्या हमें हर रोज सूर्य नमस्कार करना चाहिए? Is it?
बिल्कुल, सूर्य को नहीं पूजा करेंगे तो फिर निकलेगा कैसे?